You find yourself in a dimly lit library at midnight. Dust dances in the air, illuminated by flickers of candlelight. On an ancient wooden table lies a black, leather-bound book with faded gold letters, the Kybalion. As you gently open it, a hush falls, as if the very air is holding its breath. In 1908, a mysterious text was published in Chicago, attributed only to 3 initiates. Its true authors remain unknown. Some say it was penned by a single occultist in secret. This book claimed to reveal ageless wisdom passed down from antiquity. The teachings within are said to come from Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary sage of ancient Egypt and Greece. In myth, Hermes inscribed his wisdom on an emerald tablet thousands of years ago. Across millennia, his 7 Hermetic Principles were whispered from master to student, an occult tradition of enlightenment. Now, here they lie before you, written in this book, a secret doctrine waiting to be unlocked. Your heart pounds as you turn the first page. Imagine the centuries of seekers who longed for this knowledge. The introduction reads, "The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding." You sense that you, too, are about to become part of this ancient story. The quote from the book echoes in your mind. By knowing the 7 laws, one gains a magic key to open all of the temple's doors. Grasping an old brass key left alongside the book, you envision a massive temple with 7 doors ahead of you. Each door conceals one Hermetic principle, one step deeper into the mysteries of reality. You take a deep breath and push open the first door. The journey begins. You step into darkness. Suddenly, a single ray of light appears, illuminating words etched in the air. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This is the first principle, mentalism. The silence is total as you absorb the meaning. Everything you experience is a product of consciousness. Reality, in its deepest essence, is akin to a boundless mind. A gentle voice breaks the silence, guiding you. What if the world around you is more like a dream than you ever suspected? The chamber around you shifts and shimmers. Bookshelves and stone walls dissolve into a cosmic expanse. Stars swirl and form into thoughts, and thoughts dissolve into stardust. You realize that mind is the foundation of everything. The cosmos itself is a living thought. Ancient Hermeticists believed that the external world is a mental projection of the all, an infinite, unknowable living mind. Modern science, surprisingly, begins to echo this mystical idea. In quantum physics, the simple act of observation seems to influence subatomic particles, consciousness affecting reality at the smallest scales. You recall times when your mood colored the world, how optimism made everything glow, or how fear cast the darkest shadows. The all is mind means every aspect of life is imbued with consciousness. God, or the universal spirit, is like an infinite mind, and we live within it. Your very being is a wave upon that great mind's ocean. A flicker of empowerment sparks within you. If everything is mental, then your inner world is the key to mastering the outer world. Clutching the brass key, you take another step. The first door has revealed a startling truth. Reality is mental. The key in your hand grows warm as a second door appears. With curiosity and courage, you push it open. You enter a circular chamber bathed in a soft silver glow. Above you, the ceiling opens into a night sky full of stars. Below your feet, the floor mirrors that sky. On the far wall, illuminated letters read, "As above, so below, as below, so above." This is the second principle, correspondence. A chill runs down your spine as you grasp its essence. The patterns of the cosmos echo in the patterns of our lives. You walk slowly around the chamber, marveling at the mirrors of nature. In a beam of moonlight, you see a fern leaf, its tiny fronds arranged in the same spiral pattern as a galaxy. A voice in the silence explains, "Look closer." The branching of the leaf's veins resembles the branching of rivers seen from a mountaintop. The fractal repetition of patterns is everywhere. Indeed, scientists observe self-similar patterns at different scales. The network of neurons in a human brain and the cosmic web of galaxies, despite their mind-boggling size difference, show an uncanny resemblance, as if the universe had imprinted the same design on all levels of existence. The rhythms of your tiny heart mirror the rhythms of the planets. Your inner world is a microcosm of the outer world, and vice versa. This principle of correspondence has influenced thinkers from alchemists to Carl Jung. Jung saw the psyche as mirroring the cosmos, coining terms like collective unconscious that reflect this ancient idea. Think of it this way: the universe might be holographic, each fragment containing the whole. The Hermetic sages taught that understanding one level of reality, say, our psyche, can reveal insights about other levels, the universe, the divine. What if the secrets of the stars are written in the atoms of your body? What if your personal struggles contain the blueprint of cosmic battles among gods and titans? The law of correspondence invites you to see meaningful patterns linking your life to the larger universe. Perhaps the challenges you face are not meaningless. They resonate with archetypal stories in nature and myth. The very phrase, "as within, so without," comes to mind. Your outer world reflects your inner state. A chaotic mind finds a chaotic life. A harmonious soul lives in harmony with the world. As you step toward the next door, the voice returns. Could it be that every small action you take ripples across the universe? You carry that thought with you and insert the key into the third door's lock. A faint vibration hums through the key and through your hand. You push open the door and enter. A deep hum greets you, like the sound of the universe's heartbeat. The chamber is alive with motion. You see bands of colored light pulsing in the air and feel a gentle trembling under your feet. On the wall, a golden inscription shimmers. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. This is the third principle: vibration. You close your eyes and feel the truth of it. There's a subtle buzzing in your body, your heart pumping, atoms oscillating, nerves firing electric pulses. Everything is in constant motion, from the electrons in your cells to the planets in their orbits. Even in utter stillness, matter is dancing. The ancient text insists that solidity is an illusion, that what we call physical matter is really energy vibrating at different frequencies. Higher vibration manifests as spirit. Lower vibration appears as matter, but it's all one continuum of vibration. Modern physics tells us the same. At the tiniest scales, particles are not static things, but vibrating energy. The colors you see are vibrations of light at different frequencies. The music that moves your soul is vibration in the air. Your thoughts and emotions carry vibrational frequencies too. Think of how a kind thought feels higher and lighter, while anger feels low or heavy. We use these metaphors intuitively, perhaps sensing the vibrations behind them. Hermetic masters believed that by altering our vibrational state, for example through prayer, meditation, music, or willpower, we can affect the material world. You realize that this is why an uplifting song can shift your mood entirely. It literally tunes you to a different frequency. Ask yourself, what frequency are you tuning into right now? When you feel stuck in life, could it be a sign to change your vibration, to stir up movement, seek new energy? This law suggests that nothing is truly inert. Therefore, no situation is hopelessly fixed. The colored lights swirl faster, merging into a brilliant white radiance. You feel your own being vibrating in resonance with this energy. It's exhilarating, like you're aligning with the heartbeat of existence. As the light fades slightly, you notice another doorway ahead. Emblazoned on it is a yin-yang symbol, half dark, half light, swirling together. You sense a new lesson is near, one about duality and unity. Holding the principle of vibration in your heart, you step through the fourth door. You enter a hall divided by a line down the center. On your left, the room is painted in cool midnight blue, illuminated by the moon. On your right, it is glowing golden, bathed in the light of the sun. Two extremes, night and day, contained in one space, seamlessly blending at the center. The inscription spanning the wall reads in bold letters, "Everything is dual, everything has poles, Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. This is the fourth principle, polarity. Its message: all dualities are in truth a unity. Opposites are just two extremes of the same thing. Light has no meaning without darkness. Heat is known only in contrast to cold. The Hermetic text gave a classic example. Hot and cold are relative. There is no absolute temperature dividing them, only degrees on a thermometers. So too with light and dark, big and small, love and hate. Each pair of opposites are extremes of one continuum. If you push one extreme far enough, it becomes its opposite. Think of how intense laughter can turn to tears, or profound grief can flip into a strange laughter. Extremes meet. Love and hate, though opposites, are famously two sides of the same coin. How easy it is for passionate love to turn into hate if wounded, and sometimes for hate to soften back into love. The Kybalion even notes that in our minds, we can transmute hate into love by shifting vibration on that same spectrum. In this chamber, you recall another ancient teaching, the yin-yang from Taoist philosophy. Everything contains its opposite. Within yin there is a seed of yang, and vice versa. They are distinct yet interdependent, making a harmonious whole. You begin to understand that this principle is asking you to embrace the paradoxes of life. Instead of seeing the world in black and white, recognize the continuum. All truths are but half-truths. Reflect on your own inner conflicts. Is there something you hate about yourself or your life? Could this hatred be transformed if you recognized it as the inverse of something you love deeply? What if your weaknesses are just your strengths in an undeveloped form? The law of polarity suggests you have the power to shift any state to its opposite, to find light in darkness, to cool down anger into calm, to warm apathy into passion, because they are all degrees of the same essence. You bow gently to the polarity of life, grateful for both night and day, sorrow and joy, which together make you whole. As you move on, you think, in each challenge, its opposite opportunity is hidden. With this insight, you press the key into the fifth door. It swings open with a gentle creak, almost like a pendulum starting to swing. A gentle wind brushes past you as you cross the threshold. This chamber feels alive with motion. The first thing you notice is a great pendulum suspended from the ceiling, swinging slowly left and right. On the floor, a mosaic depicts ocean waves rising and falling. The inscription along the wall reads, "Everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates." This is the fifth principle, rhythm. At once, you sense the pulse of this law. Life moves in cycles. There are peaks and valleys, expansion and contraction, order and chaos, seasons of growth and seasons of rest. Just like a pendulum swings one way and inevitably swings back, the universe has a natural cadence. Nothing stays forever in one state. Change is constant and, crucially, rhythmic. The room itself seems to breathe. You hear your own heartbeat and realize it matches the pendulum's swing. Your lungs fill and empty in rhythm. Look around. Night and day, the tides of the ocean, the waxing and waning of the moon, the cycles of birth and death, all obey this principle. All things rise and fall, the Kybalion says, like summer into winter, a king's ascent to power and his fall, the inhale and exhale of creation itself. Even in your moods, periods of enthusiasm are followed by lulls, then renewed energy. This is not a flaw in life, but a feature, the law of rhythm at work. You walk along the mosaic of waves. The voice of wisdom narrates within. When you're riding high, do not arrogantly presume it will last forever. Everything changes. When you're down, do not despair. The upward swing will come. The Hermetic masters taught ways to navigate rhythm, to neither be swept too far with the flood nor left hopeless in the ebb. They aimed for a neutral point, a steadiness of mind that can observe the swing without being carried away by it. This law also invites you to dance with life rather than resist its beats. If everything flows, learn to surf the waves. There will be times of gain and times of loss, times of progress and times of setback. Think about your life's tides. Can you recall a time when a hardship eventually gave way to a period of joy, or a time of great joy that subtly diminished into a quieter phase? This law reassures us that neither the highs nor lows define the whole journey. It's the cycle that matters, the larger equilibrium. What if you could accept both the ups and downs with equal grace? As the pendulum swings one last time, you bow to it, silently thanking it for the lesson. The winds of change that once frightened you now feel like familiar old friends. You know their pattern. With newfound poise, you approach the sixth door. The air around the door crackles with anticipation. You turn the key and step through, ready to confront the next truth. You step into a chamber that feels like the heart of a vast, intelligent machine. Geometric platforms float in all directions, and at the center, a glowing orb of rotating rings pulses with purpose, as if the space itself is thinking. Every shape, every motion feels deliberate. Hovering in the air, a glowing inscription reads, "Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized." This is the sixth principle, cause and effect. It proclaims a universe of order, not chaos. For each happening, there is a reason. Nothing merely occurs by luck. Even chance events obey laws we may not yet understand. The realization hits you like a thunderclap. Your life is not a series of random events. It is an interconnected web of causes and effects. Every choice you make sets into motion a ripple of consequences. Every situation you encounter is the result of some chain of causes, some within your control, some perhaps set long before by forces unseen. The Hermetic adepts believed that by rising to a higher plane of understanding, one could become a cause rather than an effect, an active player rather than a pawn of circumstance. By understanding cause and effect, you can insert yourself as a conscious cause in your life rather than just an effect of other forces. Ask yourself, are you the cause or the effect in your life story? Are you merely reacting to events, or are you also creating events for yourself and others? This principle calls forth a sense of accountability and power. It suggests that nothing just happens. That coincidence that led you to meet your best friend, was it really random, or a string of subtle causes that you didn't see? Even the meeting of your parents, which led to you being born, was a convergence of countless causal threads. It boggles the mind, yet also assures there is order underlying the chaos. What if everything you believed about cause and effect was incomplete? The inner voice now asks. Perhaps you assumed life was mostly chance, but if chance is just a law not recognized, then maybe you have more influence than you think. If you act with awareness and purpose, you might set into motion causes that lead to desired effects. Conversely, to avoid undesired effects, you can work backward. Do not sow the seeds of those outcomes. Standing amidst the turning gears, you feel small, yet also empowered. Small because you perceive the vast machinery of causality that is the universe. Empowered because you know even a small gear can set a big wheel in motion. You vow to become more mindful of the causes you set forth with each thought, word, and action. You notice now a final door, the seventh. The air here feels charged with creative energy and a deep sense of mystery. This is the last keyhole for your brass key. With a mix of reverence and anticipation, you unlock the seventh door and step through. You step into a quiet expanse under a golden twilight sky. The world around you is still, balanced. In the distance, The silhouettes of structures tilt gently toward one another, as if drawn together by some invisible harmony. A soft wind carries the sound of birds overhead. The air feels charged, yet calm. Floating before you, glowing text appears in midair. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. This is the seventh principle, gender. In Hermetic philosophy, gender does not merely mean physical sex. It speaks to the fundamental masculine and feminine energies that exist in all things. The masculine principle is associated with qualities like expansion, giving, action, initiation, and projective energy. The feminine principle is associated with receptivity, nurturing, intuition, creativity, and formative energy. These two principles are present in everything, from atoms to ideas, from plants to people, and their interplay is what creates and regenerates all life. The teaching becomes clear. Creation always requires a union of complementary forces. Just as it takes two parents to create a child on the physical plane, the Hermetic law says no creation, whether mental, spiritual, or physical, is possible without this union of masculine and feminine principles. Consider your own mind. When you have a creative idea, there is often a spark or inspiration, a masculine aspect, and then a period of nurturing that idea into form, a feminine aspect. When an inventor conceives a design and then carefully plans and manifests it, the invention is born. Even within a single person, your psyche has both masculine and feminine qualities. Analytical thinking and assertiveness might be your inner masculine, empathy and intuition, your inner feminine. Carl Jung noted this through the concepts of animus and anima, the unconscious masculine side of a woman and feminine side of a man. To be whole, a person must acknowledge and unite their masculine and feminine aspects. Societies, too, flourish when both energies are honored. Logic and intuition, force and compassion, technology and art, working in tandem. Now ask yourself, do you allow both sides of your nature to speak? Are you comfortable being assertive when needed and receptive when needed? This principle suggests that within you is the power to create worlds because you carry the twin creative forces of the universe. When you balance your inner masculine and feminine, you become like a divine creator, capable of manifesting your ideas and dreams. A warm glow of self-realization spreads in your chest. You feel integrated, complete. A child of both sun and moon, carrying both a warrior's resolve and a healer's compassion. A gentle bell chimes in the distance, and you know it is time to conclude this journey. The garden begins to fade. You find yourself back in that dim library, but you are not the same person who first opened the book. 7 profound truths now live within you. Think of the life that awaits you outside this library. Imagine walking down the street with this new vision, sensing the mental nature of reality in every interaction, noticing synchronicities as reflections of inner and outer harmony, feeling the vibes of places and people and choosing to radiate a positive frequency. You'll recognize polarities at play in arguments or personal dilemmas and seek the middle ground that unites. When you hit a rough patch, you'll remember this too shall pass. Because of life's pendulum swings, you'll take responsibility for your choices, becoming the author of your story rather than a victim. And you'll honor both your strength and sensitivity, your intellect and intuition. With such understanding, life becomes a grand adventure. Every moment is an opportunity to apply one of the 7 principles, to practice the art of living in tune with the laws of reality. The Kybalion's wisdom is not just theoretical, it's alive in every breath you take, every thought you think, every relationship, every challenge and triumph. These 7 Hermetic principles are like 7 lanterns lighting the path ahead, a path that once seemed dark and uncertain. Now you see that the temple of truth is not just an external place, it is within you. Those doors of the temple have flown open, and on the other side stands a new you, holding the magic key of understanding. You step toward the library door, back to the world you came from, but everything has changed.